Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started so that we can honor everybody's time. If you have your pen and pencil, you can get them out if you want. I'm recording this so that if you have team members later on who weren't able to make it, or maybe you want to hear it again later on, I will post the link in our team pages. So today's session is about not just making goals, but making big goals and really having the tools to get to those big goals. Because I think in the 2 years I've done this, the biggest thing I've seen when people make goals is either they're too small, like I'm going to go silver in the next 6 months, or they're too big and they're unachievable, like I'm going to go emerald in 3 months. And so there's kind of like two problems we have. We have person A who really has a long-term goal that's not very high, going silver in 6 months. While it might take some people 6 months or more to go silver, it's also a low goal to have for 6 months. And then we have person B who they're very ambitious, they're aspiring to really go to the top, but at the same time their goal of emerald in 3 months is not realistic, and a lot of times it leads to defeat and the frustration because they didn't reach that goal. And so a lot of times those people end up dropping out because they didn't get to that place in their timing. And so we're going to kind of try to figure out how to meet in the middle, to have these big, huge goals, but at the same time make them attainable for ourselves. So I have 3 big tips for us, and the teacher side of me is going to come out a lot tonight. So tip number 1 is to look at your personal growth and your team growth to assess logical goals. So you need to look at yourself as far as, am I doing what I need to do to grow my team? Am I averaging 1 person a month? Am I averaging 3 people a month? What am I personally averaging, and then what is my team averaging? Because as you grow, your team is really going to play into the importance of you ranking up. I tell everybody when they sign up, when they see emerald and they see 1,500 points, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't know that many people. And so then I have to think about, well, I don't personally know everybody on my Plexus team. I have over 3,000 people, and we go 14 levels deep. We have people in every state, in Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. I don't know all these people. And so as your team grows, you have to assess where they're at and where you're at. So what I like to do is, in the beginning, I was signing a lot of people every month. I was averaging about 8 to 10 people a month. And then as I got bigger, I now average, 1 to 3 people a month. So don't think that your goal is going to be set in stone, that, oh, I'm going to sign 5 people a month and that's going to be your forever goal. Your goal is going to kind of change as you grow and as you change. You're going to have people on your team that signing 1 person a month is a challenge for them. You're going to have people that signing 3 people in a month is their average. And then you're going to have some people that they're just naturally going to sign a lot of people. And it's not that one person is better than the other. It comes down to location. It comes down to how they're reaching out to people. It comes down to so many different variables. So I don't want you to think, well, gosh, I only, average 1 person every couple months. That's okay. But just know you might not have a goal of going emerald in 6 months. We have to be practical about our goals. The other big thing that I see with that tip I gave you about your personal growth is your team growth. I know we know in our head that we're a team, but at the same time, I think we forget that We need to challenge our teams to grow. Melissa did not get to Diamond by herself. Kim and I did not get to Emerald by ourselves. Janelle and Stephanie did not get to Emerald by themselves. We have a team, just like all of you did not get to Silver, Gold, any of those ranks by yourself. It's a team effort. And so by challenging your team to duplicate what you're doing, you're not only challenging them to grow and to help you, but you're challenging them to reach their personal goals. So that's why every month we say, make your goals, because not only are we challenging our team to grow, but we want to see, are you making realistic goals or are you not? How can I help stretch you? The person that says, I'm going to go silver in 6 months, I want to push them a little bit more to maybe go silver in 3 months. The person that says, I'm going to go emerald in 3 months, I'm going to say, hey, let's look at maybe focusing on some smaller goals first to get you there. I don't want to kill their dream, but at the same time, I want them to look at realistically, that's probably not going to happen. So as your organization grows, make sure that you're encouraging your team, your leaders. As you get closer to gold, you're going to have a few key people that are going to step up and be your leaders. You want to focus on them to duplicate. Meanwhile, helping all of the other people on your team make those baby steps. The second tip that I have for you is to set a big, notice that's in capital letters because it's important, a big long-term goal and break it down into monthly and weekly goals. So my long-term goal when I signed up was I want to be emerald by July 31st. And I signed up in 2013. So I wanted to be emerald by the end of July 31st, 2014. That was a great big goal and a big dream of mine, but at the same time, there's a lot of steps in between. And so I had to break it down. Okay, what does this look like each month? There's, so many ranks between signing up and emerald. How do I get to each one of those? And what am I going to do each week to get to those steps? So you may have a big goal of going diamond, going emerald by July 31st, bringing your husband or wife home from work. That was another goal of mine, was having my husband being able to retire. And so you have to set up all of these goals and figure out how can you get to these things. So if your goal is to be emerald, what does that look like? What are these baby steps to get there? If your goal is to bring somebody home, have extra money on the side, what does it take? So these big goals, you have to get them out on paper. This right here is my planner. This is actually for 2016. Target $7. You do not have to spend $50 on the Erin Condren planner that everybody is like crazy over. I bought one last year and honestly I didn't use it, and I was mad at myself for wasting $50 on a planner. But this right here is where you can write down your monthly goals. Write down, okay, I'm this rank right now. At the end of this month, I want to have X amount of people. So what does that look like? What do I need to do to get there? And your planner is going to be your best friend. Tip number 3, don't give up. Okay, if you give up, I will be angry at you, and I'll have to come hunt you down. There's a lot of ups and downs with life in general, and Lexus is no different. There's easy times, there's hard times, there's fast times, there's slow times, but I think about every time that it's been difficult or challenging, it's been a time that I've been able to grow as a leader. And I look back and I think, okay, my options are to give up or to keep going. If I give up, well, I know where I was before Plexus. I was teaching, my husband was working 6 days a week. and the ends didn't meet. So I don't want to go back to that. So I'm going to just keep going, and I'm going to persevere. And down here it says, people and dreams are depending on you. If you realize that this opportunity you're doing is to help somebody get off medication, or to help somebody's husband or wife be able to come home and have time with their children, it makes you have that drive a little bit more. For me, that's what I always think about. I think about my level 1 Janelle. She was able to retire from special ed teaching and be at home with her baby. That would not have happened if I would have given up. And it just goes on and on. So you do not want to give up. All right, so I'm going to move the computer because I told you I'm going to get all teachery on you. Whiteboard here. If you missed the tips, they're up there for you. I don't know if you can see them, but I took a picture and I'll post it later. So, on your goal plan, the very first rank is silver. To get to silver, you sign 3 people. They have to either have a welcome pack or get their $100. Okay. After you go silver, those people the next month they give you what's called plexus points, 15 points. If you're brand new to plexus or you are not silver yet, this is your first goal in your first month. So January is coming up. If you're not silver yet, you need to put that as your goal. Being silver. Get with your direct upline and write it in your planner. Remember I told you best friend right there? Take your best friend everywhere. But go silver in January if you're not silver. After silver is gold. So I put a star next to gold because gold is really a pivotal rank because a lot of people can go silver, but not a lot of people are going to go to gold. Because to go to gold, you need to have a team. And you're not going to go silver to gold back-to-back months. So if you're already silver, I do not want you to think, I'm going to go gold next month. A lot of people do fast start gold. A lot of people have done it, but the majority of people don't because you have to have 20 people in your downline. And if you look at this silver had 3 people, that's 15 points. To go gold, you need 100 points. That's a 567% increase in points. And so don't get discouraged. And my voice is kind of going out, sorry. Thank you, Jamie. Don't get discouraged if you don't go gold right away. There's a lot of time sometimes for people. I went gold in 2 months. It took my husband a year to go gold. So if you're not gold in your time frame, let's look at how we can do that. So we looked at our own team and our downline team. We talked about the power of 3. You should be encouraging yourself and your downline to go silver every single month because that's going to get explosive growth. The key to going gold, though, too, is you need 15 people or points outside your primary leg, your strongest team member. Now, I know some of you on here are already gold, and you're working your way to senior gold. So senior gold is the next one. And at senior gold, you have to have 250 points. Now, I want you to notice that it's 150% increase. You need about 50 people level 1 through 3. So once you get past gold, this is like a hump. And so you need to make sure that you are continually trying to work up and grow your team and encourage your team. This is where you become a team leader and an encourager. And so what you need to do is keep in mind our goal making tips of setting your goal and looking at your personal growth. Okay. Next is Ruby. And this is also a pivotal role. out a plexus gem, and you need about 100 points or 100 people in your downline, and it's 100% increase. It's double from here. At Ruby, if you can make it to Ruby, you have a lot of momentum going. A lot of times people that rank Ruby the very next month or the month after they rank Senior Ruby. So this right here is another pivotal rank. So if you're a Silver Ambassador and you want to get to Ruby, looking at this chronologically, time-wise, if you're adding 3 people and you're encouraging your team to add 3 people, you should figure about 2 months to gold, another month to gold, another month to Ruby, and then another month to Senior Ruby. Okay. You can see Emerald. At Emerald, you need 1,500 points. And that's a lot of points, and that's where you need to remember your team is going to take you here. You're not going to reach Emerald by yourself. You have got to make sure that your long-term goal, this is not going to happen overnight. And so on your calendar, if your goal is to be Emerald by July 31st, it can happen. All of you can do it. It's just, what does that look like each week? So when you're making our goals, one of the things that, I'm going to turn this down so you can see me. One of the things that you want to incorporate to help motivate and build momentum to your team and bring these goals into fruition is utilizing Zoom. This is what we're on, Zoom training, and making up trainings. Even though maybe somebody else has done them, hearing your sponsor talk about it will help your team and motivate them. So setting up Zoom trainings with your team, engaging with new ambassadors. If you have somebody that's new on your team, make sure that you either have a welcome video made on YouTube and you can email it right in your back office. I'm setting up these next 2 weeks little lunch dates with my team to get us motivated for January. Touch bases with your leaders. What are their goals? Help them make goals and encourage them to make their goals so that you can be the leader to your team. All of these things are little pieces of the puzzle that are going to come together and help make this big picture that you have, whether it's to be Emerald or to be Diamond or to have your family home or to just have your dream vacation, your dream home, whatever it is. These are all little pieces of the puzzle that you need to think about. So as we wrap up, I want you to think about over the next few weeks as we end December, what are your long-term goals and what are you going to do each month and each week to get there? What are your stair steps like? What do you need to hit? And how are you going to do that? Are you going to set up Zoom meetings like this? Are you going to set up lunch meetings? Are you going to have an accountability group? What are some things that you're going to do? We talked about in the mastermind training about short-term denials for long-term results. And so, like right now, this is a short-term denial. I've asked my husband every Sunday night this month to do a Zoom training because the long-term results is our team growing. So keep in mind those things and get out your best friend. I lost my best friend. Get out your planner and really, really, really think about this next year. Where do you want to be at this time in 2016? Okay. So what I want you guys to do is think about that, and then if you want, actually I don't want, if you want, do it. Message your sponsor, your direct upline, what your goals are for January and for in 6 months when we go to convention, and then at the end of next year. So 1 month goal, 6 months goal, and then 1 year goal. Okay? And that way your sponsor can help keep you accountable as well. So thank you guys so much for joining, and I hope that we kind of cleared up the water, and we'll see you guys next week.